Welcome to the Maltepes Show. I'm here at Greek from Greece, live in Philadelphia at the one and only spot, Greek from Greece, here with Jimmy Gouliaberis.
Jimmy
How are you, my
Gouliaberis.
brother?
I'm good.
Talk to me. Talk to me. What's going
So
on?
we're at 107 North 33rd Street. Greek from Greece. The closest thing to Greece in Philadelphia, or in the United States, to be honest with you, is here, right? Everybody's welcome. We want to show our culture, show people what we're about, and come and give us a shot.
Come over here to Greek from Greece. Everything's made fresh, authentic. You have the best desserts, some of the best coffee. This right here is a Freddo Espresso, although I drank most of it, but it's rated the #1 coffee in the world. So you're gonna want to come down, try it out. As you can see, GFG. I'm wearing my GFG shirt as well.
Mention the Maltepes report and get 10% off your order and a free cookie.
There you go. Perfect. Come here, mention Maltepes report, get 10% off your order. By the way, I love this sign, the Caesar's
History,
Cafeño.
man. History, right? Coffee is in our blood. It's our culture, and socializing goes hand in hand with that. So, brought this. This is like a 50-year history to our 4-year history, so 54 technically, right? If you add that.
Yeah, so we have plenty of desserts, baklava, garlic burrito, and we'll show you some of them today.
So about Greece,
Yes, talk about Greece.
Safety, philoxenia, which is a crucial word, right? It's trending everywhere. They're making an effort. Greece had a bad rap that they defaulted on loans.
Yeah.
There's corruption, but we see the corruption here.
Yeah, it's
right?
high.
Super high. I think it's more here, but it's
Smaller
human,
country.
Yeah,
over
exactly.
there, too.
Human nature, right? So, what makes Greece the way it is the people are passionate about the little things, right? Like customer service is king in Greece. Now, you're gonna have a great experience everywhere you go. I don't know, but in general, like my wife, Spanish descent, Cuban, Puerto Rican. We talked about it. She's obsessed with Greek food.
Yeah.
It's like Whole Foods, right? They eat very seasonal. They take their ice cream seriously, right? They fit in their part of the day. Like they do everything with a plan. So I think it bodes well for Greece's future. Their GDP is rising right now. Like the way we do beach bars in Greece, I don't know when the last time you was, but they have a beach bar culture. Nikki Beach has nothing on it. Like South Beach, they do a good job, but nothing like Greece. It's on a different level, right? So I feel
I've
like
never
if
even
somebody
been down that way,
yeah,
Miami.
you got to check it out. Oh, you never been to Miami?
I've never been to Miami.
Oh wow, Miami is.
I heard it's a good
I
time.
love Miami, but if we bring that somehow here, or to Puerto Rico, I think the sky's the limit.
Yeah.
You know, they have it in some Caribbean islands, but so you don't have to break the bank in Greece to feel like a celebrity, royalty almost, right? We were at a restaurant in Skiathos Island, and it's in the middle of the Aegean, northern Aegean actually, close to where I'm from, Katerini, right?
Yeah.
And it was me and my wife and one of her college friends, her closest friend. It was their honeymoon, so they met up with us in the second leg of the trip. We meet this one guy that has relatives in Philadelphia.
Yeah.
And we do the speedboat thing. You know, he's doing jet skiing. I don't know how to do any of that.
Yeah, I don't know
right?
either.
I know kitchens and working 70 hours a week. So we're like, where are we going to eat? You know, you ask people, where are you going to eat? Of
course.
You know, it's like the most random person might give you a great tip. So he's like, you're going to go to this restaurant and you should go now. I'm like, it's 2 o'clock. He's like, go now, pick your fish. And he's like, then you're set for the night. Yeah. He's like, you don't have to worry about it again.
So
you can
fresh.
show up at 9, 10 o'clock, 11, they'll sit you. Yeah. But you have your fish safe.
That's awesome.
So I never done that before, right?
Yeah.
Young couple, me and my wife. This other couple is just as young as us. This is like 15 years ago. We go, we pick a fish. He's like, listen, you know how it's fresh because you can see the harpoon. This is where this is how they got it. View of we went around 9:30. We had a view of the sunset, and all he put out was a fish, 3 kilos, so massive, right?
Big.
Massive.
Huge.
I don't even know where to source that in the States, right? Huge. And just some dandelions, horta, and potatoes. That's all.
Probably
And,
so good.
and we were like, is this it? You know what I mean? Like, where's the gourmetness here? Where's the effort?
Yeah.
But the effort was in the love of how they cooked that fish, that it was fresh. When I tell you, Matt, it was probably one of the best meals I've
ever
had.
had?
Yeah, and that couple, like you can call them right now, they'll remember everything about that night.
Wow.
You know, it was 150 euro, which is like 200 bucks
Yeah,
back then, which
It's
is
a lot. Yeah.
high price point. But the meal was worthy of the best steakhouse in Philadelphia, which is 150 a person, where you get the Kobe. You know what I mean? Like this was like, well, you remember that.
And it's
meal.
authentic.
100% authentic. They had the nice service. It was like this young kid who was like a 14-year-old. You know, he was the busboy, and the owner of the restaurant would come out, just put the fish down, and then whatever you needed. They wouldn't wait for your water to finish. They would just bring you another one. No questions asked.
It was automatic.
Automatic. So those little things is what they've learned to do, I think, right? And anybody that goes, I have a lot of customers because of the restaurant, the name, that come in, and once they go to Greece, they come here again. They're looking for that taste again.
Yeah, they're
you know what
looking
I'm saying?
that-
Like
yep,
they
I know
get
exactly.
the experience, and then they're like, oh, where can I find that again?
Yeah. Well, everybody wants to vacation in Greece. Everybody wants to go to Greece.
Yeah.
It's the
The-
top level destination. Everyone talks about Santorini. They talk about Mykonos.
Mykonos, the party, the
party,
ancient history.
The
it has it all.
history, Athens,
It has it all. And good food.
The good food, ranked number one in food
Yeah, yeah,
in the whole world.
yeah. And
Overtook Italy.
And we took Italy, and according to some, right?
Yeah.
And I was in Italy, and I went to Rome.
Yeah.
And a couple years ago, my father-in-law made a trip, nice trip for all of us, and I couldn't find a salad to save my life in Rome.
Really?
Yeah, it was pizza or pasta. Pizza,
pizza,
or pasta.
pasta.
I'm like, no, I don't want this.
Yeah, I know.
Give me a salad, anything green.
They have a great food. Don't get me wrong. It just, to me,
They do.
it doesn't compare
No,
to Greek food.
it does not. And then in southern Italy, when I went, I think it was a little closer to Greece. I went to where they filmed that White Lotus show.
Okay.
We went to that town, Taormino. Great, but again, like they have their ways. They're set in their ways. I feel like Greece is ever evolving, right?
They are.
Because the Greek colonies were in southern Italy. They were in Minor Asia. They were in Ukraine today.
Yeah.
Just listen to another like.
It's
they
like
were-
expanded.
Yeah. So they brought everything back.
Yeah.
There were merchants and ship merchants, right? The most famous Greek was from Argentina. Well, made his fortune in Onassis.
Yeah,
He made his
yeah.
fortune in Argentina.
I know.
So we're good at that. We're good at integration of, what everybody else does, and we give our own twist to it.
Well, it started with Alexander, right? He goes to
did.
Persia, takes over Persia, then it
He
all
did.
combines and
And he gave everybody
integrates.
the option, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Violence or take you over. And then when we take over, he would marry his generals off. He wouldn't just
Exactly.
like literally pillage and rape and burn to the
It was
ground.
all strategic.
Correct.
You know, it was all strategic, and it was integration because he knew obviously everyone you got to put it together, and you got to have staples throughout every colony or whatever you want to call it. And I think that's such a beautiful part.
It's integration, right? It's literally how this is what this country is based on, I feel like.
Exactly.
It was that way of thinking,
Yep.
right? They took...
How ahead of his time.
Yeah. It was ahead of its time, and when they say enlightenment, I think that's what they mean, right? And, the ideals here, like, I feel like they started there, right? And we're doing it great in this country, right? This country is a beacon of hope, and that's why I came. I
The
left
American
Greece.
dream.
The American dream. The American dream, and my dad always talked about it when we lived in Greece, and I was like, what does that mean? What does that mean? And you come here, Americans carry it different. It's true.
It's true.
Yeah, in
The
Greece,
American
like
dream is real.
in Greece, like I loved it and I miss it, and I had my formative years were great. I was 18 when I moved back to the States. Born here, but third grade to high school was all there. So all my school years were there, but there was no future for me. Like it was hard. Their average salary is like 300 a week. That's a good one. Can you imagine?
And then you had the fall, and you look at Greece now, GDP to debt ratio, so many different things, youth unemployment.
Yeah.
It's not easy. It's
not
very
easy.
tough.
It's not easy.
very
They had
tough.
one of the highest home ownerships in the world in 2001 when I moved there, like 83%, 84%, right? Imagine that. And now it's not even in the top 10. So within 20 years, I don't know what happened
Look at
so
that.
wrong that they had the highest ownership in the world. I remember seeing on CNN like yesterday. Greece number 1, Japan was 3rd, America was like 5th or 6th. Huge country, right?
What do you
Big
think about the
difference.
euro? You joined
I
the
think it hurt
euro.
'em.
It hurt them.
I think it hurt them when the drachmas were around, man. It was a good time for Greece. A lot of like price gouging happened with the euro, and I had just left. So I left in '99 October to move back to the States,
Wow.
and the euro came in that January, right? The millennium. I think it hurt them all around, man. Like they didn't do them any favors. Now the corruption hurts, right?
course.
But every country does it, right?
There's corruption everywhere.
I feel bad for the Greeks when the Germans, after World War II, Greece was one of the guarantors of German debt or forgiveness package. So it wasn't austerity, but when it's Greece's turn to get the favors, Germany says no austerity.
Where?
You know?
Yeah.
Not fair, dude, because like Obama actually, President Obama said, yo, austerity is not going to work. And look, Greece is still not able to rise past the damage that was done from that crisis. And it's not the people. They actually they instituted a 6th workday in Greece. So
Yeah,
6
I saw
days,
this. I saw that.
Okay.
Recently.
And they work more hours than any of the European counterparts, but they're in such a hole because austerity doesn't work, my friend. You know what I mean? Get incentivized. When Germany came out of World War I, they started World War II, and because they had strict austerity measures on the German people, and they were like, enough's enough. So they revolted again, and World War II happened, right? A lot of different things happened. I'm not going to pinpoint that that was a reason. But after World War II, they said, oh, we don't want this to happen again. So no austerity this time. So Greece became one of the 7 countries, the allies, that guaranteed that they would buy German products. So you go to Greece now, everything is German. The cars, the washing machines, the electronics, the TVs, everything. Why can't Germany do that for Greece now? You know, you get good at anything, Matt. If Greece made phones for the European Union, you know, with German engineers, but make it in Greece, provide Greek jobs.
That's the problem with the euro. You need to be made in Greece. You need production in Greece.
Yeah, you do. You do. But then there's like the politics. I remember Firestone came to Greece, either Firestone or one of the one of the tire manufacturers, and they bought a plant that had shut down Pirelli, the Italian tires. They shut down, and they came in and Firestone put all this money into this plant, right, to make it updated, to make the tires that they need. And right before they opened, the local Greeks came to them because the socialism doesn't work, dude.
Yeah, socialism
No, it doesn't work. So they went to this company and they said, okay, you're ready to go? They're like, yeah, we're going to start interviewing the locals. It was just laborers. They didn't need anything specific. We're going to train them. Oh, they're like, no, you're not. They told them, Firestone, you're going to hire the people that were here before. And Firestone was like, no, we're not.
Yeah.
We're going to train people from young kids. We're going to give them jobs in the future. They're like, no, we had floor bosses, we had shop stewards. They ran into the ground.
Yeah.
You know, it was political across the board. So you know what they ended up doing? They didn't even open the shop. They went to Turkey and just started a whole new plant.
Across the border. Of course they went across the border.
You know, because they wanted to foist on them. They were literally going to foist the people that were working at that factory that ran into the ground. Why did Pirelli leave? They didn't leave because they were making money.
Yeah.
You know, so you can tell me I'm going to have to hire somebody that's been doing this for 20 years and knows. No, we need the people to be new, fresh. Mm-hmm. So those, you know, the government got involved and locals and people with a little bit of power made moves where it hurt the country. It hurt the locals.
It hurt the locals.
You know, in America, at least, I feel like it's going that way, but I still think there's opportunity here.
Well, I still think there's opportunity. I still believe there's opportunity. I see it firsthand.
Yeah, this place is blessed for me, you know.
This place, Greek from Greece, right? You look at this, and I could argue that there's more opportunity now than ever before with the internet.
Probably, you're probably right. You're probably right, but it's like there's a generational gap, and for me, but yeah, I see these majors. I was talking to some of the professors here. They have like social media majors. They major in marketing and design, and yeah, absolutely, it opens up a lot of avenues. And in Greece, I see it a lot too. In Greece, they talk about it all the time, be an entrepreneur, but
it's harder.
It has to be something tangible, though. Matt.
It's true. There has to be things that are tangible.
So they have another major that I was just talking to one of the professors from sculpting. Drexel's an engineering school, but furniture making, brilliant. You know what I mean? Like It's a whole area, right? In North Carolina, you know what furniture is made in North Carolina?
How much?
Tons. High end, not high end, middle to high end, but there's part of the state, like 30% of the state is employed in that.
It's a hot spot.
It's a hot spot. You have IKEAs of the world, which makes like grab
course.
and go, you know. But we just got a couch, American made. I was proud to buy it, you know,
awesome.
support the
That's
economy.
good.
Yeah, of course it is.
Of course. I love that taste.
You know, and
Yeah, man.
you know, I don't know. Greece again. Back to Greece. They have the talent, and they're trying to get it done now, but they're expecting government to help them at every turn.
Can't have that
No,
mindset.
no, because then Boat Concept comes in and they're like, oh, you know, you
like
don't
a
have
victim
to worry about
mentality.
it. Yeah, it's a victim mentality, and then the other companies that are there, the conglomerates forever, they're going to shut it down.
Always expecting to hand out. It's not going to come.
No, and they're putting in the work, Matt. They're putting in the work, and they have the ideas, but then it gets to that socialist part where they're like, oh, no, you can't hurt us, or somebody gets lobbied somewhere along
course,
the
money.
way.
What about, let's talk about you being in a university city here, Greek from Greece. What is it like being in university city with all of these college kids, and how do you bring the Greek culture to them and show them what it's like to be Greek? And when it comes to the food, when it comes to the culture, when it comes to the coffee, we talked about the Freddo Espresso is #1 tasting coffee in the whole world.
What I've learned, I mean, this was always my dream or my goal to bring that. When I came to the States in '99, I was looking for a coffee shop to go to, and we've talked about this, and I talked to Steve about it too. And there was a place called Cozy's. It was on 36 and Chestnut. It's Zandos, it was called before that, and it had outdoor seating. Nothing special. You go from Greece where they have like little fans with like some like steam, not steam, but it's water to cool you down. You've seen those before,
I know
right?
exactly what you're talking
and
about.
like awnings that are automatic and plush seating. And I came to the States and I'm like, this is America, right? I see big cars, big quantities, but I don't see that coffee culture. I don't see that service. We're like, okay, you don't have to break the bank to sit at a nice cafe with a view like Rittenhouse. Outdoor seating didn't exist in '99. The first guy that did it was a guy that owned Rouge, and he kept getting fined because he would put seats outside. But he didn't care because he knew. He saw
he's ahead of
Europe,
the game.
and he was like, okay, they're doing it over there. And in America, they were like, oh, people don't have time to sit outside. Or they're not going to sit. Excuse me, they're not going to sit outside. The weather's not permitting. But now you see cafes are popping up everywhere. Everywhere. Because it's better, dude. It just is.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We even have it here. Once the weather breaks here, you see people sitting outside getting some
I've seen
sun.
it.
You know what
I mean, I've been coming here for a little bit now. I mean, you go outside, it's beautiful. Weather's starting to break up, starting to
It's
open.
a beautiful thing. I used to pull out a table when it was Drexel Pizza. Nobody even once considered sitting outside. You know?
Crazy how things change, huh?
You couldn't pay them, right? So bring in a little part of the ambiance, and again, the food. It all comes down to the food and the quality of the coffee. We put love into this coffee, right? We changed
Secret ingredient.
Yeah, we changed 5 different coffee roasters. You know, we found the one we like. We pay a premium, right? Grade A, top of the line coffee. Like I'm paying like $13 a pound, when Lavazza's like $8 a pound, and it's considered a good coffee, right? That's $5 difference a pound.
Huge.
So, you know, the ice, like everything, the water, it's highly filtered, you know what I mean? Like, we're not just using anything, right? The machine, the Sanremo machine, the Italians are second to none when it comes to that technology, right?
Top of the top. It's
Top
quality.
Of the top. Top of the top. It costs as much as a car, right? And it makes coffee just like every other machine, but it has some nuances that make it a better product. So I feel like if you bring the good product, and you know, you don't show them, but like they learn. They learn. And like when I came in '99, Greek, nobody, like people that knew Greeks knew, but like there was no Greek restaurants. Now they're everywhere.
Now there's popping up. It's the biggest trend here in
Correct.
Philadelphia. You have Elmira that opened up Mona.
Everything.
You have all these different Greek places.
So people aren't adverse to trying it. Like I was worried about like my union folk here that work at Drexel that are like, oh, you know, they like their cheesesteaks, they like their omelets, they like their American food. But now I have them come in, and slowly but surely, people that I know for 20 years now, right? That, because this is a very transient community, you got to understand. College kids, we make a relationship with them. Year 1, freshmen, there's all freshman dorms. Year 2, they're gone. They'll still come back if they had a good experience, and a lot of them do, and we're blessed. We have a ton of repeat. 90% of our business is repeat. But year 4, they're out of here.
Out of here.
They might live 2 blocks away on Penn's campus, but they're not coming. This is a big city. It's not
Huge
like,
city.
It's a huge city, right? So they can move to Fishtown and never make their way up again. You know, so we got to keep it fresh, but we got to get the local community, right? So those union guys I was telling you about, they come in, they try, like, oh, we like this.
You know what's funny? I think everybody likes Greek food. They just don't know it. I think
Exactly.
everybody likes Greek
I agree
coffee.
100%.
They just don't know
I
it.
100%. Somebody that's a coffee drinker, Freddo Espresso, that's what I recommend. So if you like lattes or like caramel lattes, Starbucks style,
It's gonna be
this is
different.
not
It's
for
totally
you,
different. This is
right?
for like
But if
serious
you're
coffee drinkers.
Yeah, exactly. If you're an espresso drinker, if you drink French press and you really like hit the notes and you're not putting like a ton of sugar and oat milk in it, right? So you actually taste the coffee here, right? And that's the culture again. Like it's bringing the best notes out of like coffee. So in Greece they said espresso is hot. In Greece it's like 100 degrees all summer. I was there last year. It was too hot.
I know.
Sunny and 100 degrees, no rain. So they're like, okay, we're gonna ice it, and they iced it and they figured out a way
Chills them down.
to not water it down. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So they actually like they work, and I think that
It's all for
I
the
think
season,
the students
too.
here they appreciate it.
That's another thing we talked about on my last podcast when I was with some other Greeks. We talked about how Greeks, they eat for the season, right? Like
Correct.
they eat seasonal.
Correct.
But they also drink seasonal, right? In
Absolutely.
the summer, you're drinking Freddo Espresso.
In the winter, you're drinking Ness, yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Or Greek coffee.
Or Greek coffee,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah. It's, and I think that's because I said like they're planners. People don't think they are, but they are.
Yeah.
They're planners, and they plan and like, so like all the coffee service in Greece is like they all make this coffee. In the United States, we have like different. We do matchas, we do like lattes, we do different syrups. Not there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I think they're both learning from each other, right? Greece is taking
Give and grab, give and
yeah,
go.
give and go. But like, so over here, like this location, I love it. You know what I mean? It keeps me young, keeps me on my toes with the new trends, right? But it's seasonal.
Yeah.
You know, so when I do expand, I want it to be something where it's not as seasonal, right? And the whole city of Philadelphia is seasonal because if you think about it, college campus,
Yeah.
universities have bringing a ton of people to the city.
Huge.
But even the locals, right? They go to the Jersey Shore in the summer.
Yeah.
City empties out.
That's true.
You know, you go to the main line. So people have homes at the shore, the Poconos. They're traveling, right? But it's less seasonal when you're in a neighborhood. Over here is seasonal, but a lot of new ideas come up here. I just found out Lex Friedman.
Yeah.
You know who that is?
Yeah,
with
of course, the
podcast?
big podcast.
Yeah, he's a Drexel grad.
Really?
Triple
Wow.
Drexel grad. And his dad and his brother are professors here.
Really? I had
Till
no
this
idea.
day.
Wow.
Right?
Yeah.
I wish Lex was in here on the podcast, right?
When's Lex coming?
Yeah,
Come on,
man.
Lex.
I mean, we should pitch it to him. Be like, yo, Lex, your alma mater. You know?
Come here, support.
So, for real.
Yeah.
Not only me, the university.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of the athletics here. I was just talking to the lacrosse coach today. We have and it's a community again. So I say you can focus on the student body, which I do, and I try to like accommodate. But the professors, that's the real community.
It's the whole university.
You know,
Yeah, it's not just
the athletic director is a good friend of mine, Maisha Kelly. She has a bright future in front of her. She has her finger on the pulse, and you know, we cater to a lot of the students. Our food, you know, again, back to the like people were like, oh, Greek food for the lacrosse kids. Yeah, but what is it? It's rice bowls with chicken, grilled vegetables, salad. And the tzatziki sauce, which is yogurt, Greek yogurt. Like, dude, it's the best meal an athlete can ask for. You know, we go a little higher
Protein
on the carbs.
rich. A
Yeah.
little bit. Yeah.
So, like, they're ecstatic. We just fed the tennis team twice today. Not once. They couldn't get enough of us. They came twice.
That's awesome.
You know? So I feel like it fits. It fit. In the beginning, it was like Greek. What's Greek?
It was like a little foreign.
Yeah, it was very foreign, right? I'm like, in Upper Darby even, like, oh, what are the Greeks cooking again in their house, you know? Funny story, Easter's coming up.
Yeah.
This is the best story. I tell this story to everybody.
Best season of the year.
Best season of the year, for sure, especially for us, you know. We're going to go to the midnight mass. It's beautiful.
It's gonna be amazing.
So a friend of a friend had a relative visiting from Greece for Easter, because we get together for Easter, right? And took a limo from JFK straight to a house in Upper Darby. Guy pulls up in the limo. It's an American dude. Sees something on the lawn. He's like, "What is that?" We spit roast
Yeah.
a lamb.
Yeah.
That's our tradition for Easter in Greece. Everywhere in Greece, you go Easter, Even in the Greek homes in the United States, they're roasting a lamb. Ideally
course.
outside,
Yeah.
wood fire, and we used to do it manually.
best.
Yeah, we used to do it manually. Now we do it with a machine that just roasts. It's a spit, and you spit the lamb, and then you roast it, right? The guy goes, he's just messing with the limo driver. He's like, it's a dog.
No.
The guy's like, what? What? Call the cops.
No.
They call the cops. The police
the
show up.
cops.
What's going on? Yo, these dudes are crazy. They're roasting a dog outside. It's happened more than once, believe it or not.
Really?
Yeah, because
Get-
people don't
get
know that. People don't know what that is.
Yeah,
It's
it's so
didn't
foreign
at
to them.
least.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
foreign, right? And now with social media, they can just look it up. Be like,
Yeah,
oh,
yeah.
and they'll see like images. And there's
Yeah.
restaurants that do it everywhere. The Turkish restaurants, Italians do it. But it was a funny story. That dude literally thought
That's
it was
hilarious. A dog.
it was a dog.
Nah,
So
that's
he called the
crazy.
police. We had a lamb once, a live lamb in Upper Darby running around. We used to get it from Lancaster for the Easter. Police would show up. Yeah, what's going on here? Why is there a lamb in here? It's like those.
Yeah,
and that was
stories.
it was different. The society was definitely different.
Yeah, society back then
They
was way
looked
different.
they looked upon it very different. It was very foreign to them.
Yeah, now it's a little more accepted.
Mainstream,
Yeah,
yeah.
mainstream. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like you said, the internet made everything, the distances smaller.
Yeah, distance
You know what I
smaller.
mean?
100%.
And Greek shined.
Yeah.
Because it's very like what you see is what you get
Yeah.
with Greek food. When people come up to our hot food display, they can see it's the chicken, it's the beef.
Tell us what you have, by the way, on the
Yeah.
hot food display.
So this idea was like the concept GFG was like a bakery idea, right? For Greek breakfast, which is like the spinach pie, the cheese pie, and the coffee. They go hand in hand, right? And the bugatsa, which is like
Of course, the best.
the best, my favorite, and it was like it's still making a push in Greece itself to all the regions. But anywhere it goes, people love phyllo dough with a vanilla custard or phyllo dough with spinach. You can put anything
You
in
guys
it.
have chocolate.
And we have the chocolate, which is like chocolate nougat. It's like people love it. So, but I knew that on this location, we would need real hot food. Because again, like that's what I think we're best at, right? Coffee, it's a coffee culture, lounge culture, but our food is
Number one.
millennia.
Yeah.
Right? Like it's the same recipes, right? They say that
For a long
cheesecake
time.
goes back to ancient Greece. I was just hearing now that they used to have the pasta, pasticcio, right? Literally is an ancient dish. Like they have recipes.
Baklava goes back, everything.
Oh, it does. Like they literally have recipes from 2,000 years ago. So they've gotten good at making it, and I knew that on campus, the college kids, they spend a lot of energy and they need a good meal at a good price, right? So think kava, right? Kava is similar menu, but mine is more homemade.
Yeah, it's
right?
more authentic.
It's more authentic. It's homemade. Everything is made here. We have
fresh.
nothing frozen.
Everything's fresh.
Everything's fresh, right? We used to get salmon vacuum packed. Now we get the whole side, right? Our ground beef, our chicken, everything comes in fresh. Nothing. We don't have a microwave in the place, right? And we make it daily throughout the day. We're cooking rice to the order, not to the order, but like we cook a batch and then we cook more. So I knew that the hot food was going to be a must. So I think Greek Chipotle is the concept. And you got to try it to know, right? People, like I said, like some of the people that were regular customers when it was a diner were worried about what they're going to get, but we have the option for pasta, which is the orzo. Rice is like everybody eats rice, right? We still have our sandwiches. We make a couple like turkey club. We roast our own home turkey, our chicken cutlet. So we geared the taste. We made it a little fusion with American food, or like with what we know. Yeah. But what is American food, right? Like Italian food is so mainstream.
Yeah, it's true.
That everybody knows what it is. So I'm trying to do that for Greek food.
And it's happening.
And it's definitely happening, and I'm surprised at how well it's doing. We have the Penn Relays coming up, and the sneaker company. They're the main sponsor, so they're gonna do like a tent with our food in it. Hopefully,
that's awesome.
Yeah, hopefully, I'll
Congrats.
definitely bring you in for
Yeah,
that.
let me know.
Do like a live chat.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah, that would be. They're gonna provide a tent. Ideally, I'm working on that with UPenn. UPenn is, between Drexel and UPenn. I gotta say that we're on Drexel's campus, so I'm loyal to Drexel. Go Dragons!
Tell us the
But-
location for everyone that's wondering.
What is it?
33rd Street,
We're
right?
on 107 North 33rd Street, so 1 block north of Market Street. My family's been here for 45 years. The GFG's been here for 4, and we're gonna make the run, right?
To many more.
Yeah, to many more. The area's changed a lot, but like with this concept, we're a little more appealing to the Penn student body too. When it was Drexel Pizza, the name alone
Drexel.
didn't, you know, they would still send people. We had good food, so we were the oldest pizzeria in University City, operational, right? Because people would come, we go out of business, long time. But everything changed, right? And that menu got tired. So your family owned that kind of restaurant too, right? And we all did. But so I'm happy that, you know, the trends have changed. You know what I mean? That Greek become more mainstream. You know?
I think it's amazing to see, and it's pretty cool. Like I was able to. We talked about chocolate bugatti that you make, right? I take it to some of my friends, and they fell in love with it.
In love, yeah. It's a great
Absolutely
product.
in love with it, right? They fell in love with the regular bugatti, but I bought them spanakopita, bring them a spinach pie for everyone that's wondering. And everybody loves it. Like I said, they love it. They just don't know it.
They don't know it, and we're not doing ourselves any favors. Another issue that I'm trying to remedy, right, is you go into any American supermarket, and you know Italian products. You know them. You know their names. Bugazza is an odd name.
Nobody knows. Yeah,
Nobody
they,
can pronounce it.
They don't even know how to pronounce
They just point at it. No, they don't. And I'm trying to like educate them, maybe like better marketing. It's something we're working on. But you go into any restaurant or supermarket and you know manicotti, you know ravioli, you know gnocchi, provolone, parmesan.
Everybody does.
Everything is Italian. Yeah. And like, what did we teach the world so far? Feta cheese, Greek yogurt, right? But like yogurt, they knew yogurt, right? Olive oil, but like we have so many foods. Moussaka, pasticcio,
So many delicious
bugazza, spanakopita, tiropita, you know, and we need to make a real
run at like expanding and
the
bringing it, like you said,
marketing.
yeah,
So that's what
marketing.
I'm looking for help with. So anybody have ideas?
You know, it's funny. I
Feel
was
free.
I was at a restaurant with a friend of mine, and he loves galactoburico. Right? I was like, the only way you can order it is if you can pronounce it.
Yeah. That's a way to teach them, for sure.
So he learned how to pronounce it. It's
Yeah.
safe to say.
But I mean, listen, like that's what it comes down to, though,
Yeah.
right? That's marketing, right? We with our eyes and at our location, what you see is what you get. So it's not like we're gonna give you a surprise from the back. Yeah. So you could see the galactoburico, you could see the bugazza. So now the job at hand is to maybe break it down, like. You know, calories. Everyone needs to know what they're eating, right?
Nutritional
Nobody's
facts.
in for surprises anymore. You know, it can taste delicious, but if it's packed with like sugar or calories, you know, preservatives, all that stuff, right? So I want to figure out a way to market this materials. And I'm like the first step from Greece to the U.S. market. And I told the people that were involved with GFG, there was 11 of these in New York, but COVID happened, and they were running it like it's Greece. Nobody in Greece, they have time to hang out
Totally different.
for 20 minutes to wait for their coffee, and you give them a little cookie and they're happy. Not here, man. People have
Everything's
classes
fast.
to go to. Yeah, the rhythms are different. They're not
schedules.
Yeah, they're not making time to go to hang out at GFG. They're making time to do work at GFG. They're making time to get a meal. So that's why we have the bowl situation. Instead of making everything to the order in the bag, we keep it fresh. We just replenish, or we toss something if it's sitting there too long. But we need to have it as fast as possible. You know, pre-made meals. That's what the Italians do. Like everything like was all that stuff, raviolis, were they made to last in refrigerators and freezers? Probably not, but they figure out a way to do it. Package it correctly, marketed it correctly. So that's where we're at right now. And I tell because we import. The bugazza's imported, my friend. You can try to make filo dough here, but the flour is different, the water is different,
The environment's different.
the
everything.
nuts are different, everything is different. They perfected it from trying and making it for eons,
Thousands.
literally. So the baklava, we might have the best nuts in California, but are they made to be toasted?
Yeah.
Or are they made to be eaten plain? Or are they made to be
There lies the difference.
exactly. The differences are huge. Like the sugar in Greece is different than the sugar here. Sugar cane, beet sugar over there. The flour, you know, again, we talk about American products. They bleach so much of this flour. They put bromate in it, which is sodium. They don't do that over there. Or maybe they do, whatever they do, but like the European Union definitely has stricter guidelines. So I'm telling them, label everything. Label everything. Market it. Galactoburico, what does that mean?
Transparent.
Yeah, what does galactoburico mean?
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Package it correctly. If you give it to me in the way we get it, industrial size, we cook it here, so it's super fresh, but they don't know what it is.
Yeah.
You know, so you're leaving it up to me. So I need them to work a little more with us.
Bringing it front.
You know what I mean? So I'm trying
Mainstream.
to figure out who that connect would be. You know what I mean? Who that contact would be. Because then we're off to the races. Then
Game changer.
Yeah, Whole Foods would carry it. Everybody would carry it. You know, they can make everything organic. It's not hard. It's not processed food, the Greek food. It just isn't.
Tell me, top 5 cuisines in the world.
Greek, Italian, Mexican. I love the American steakhouse.
Yeah.
4. 5 is Japanese for me.
Japanese. I love Japanese too.
For me, yeah.
Japanese up there for
Huge.
me as well.
Love it. But Greek food, again, Italian food, I love. I sold it for many years. I know how to cook it, I know how to make it. And I don't know what that really means, right? That's Mediterranean again, right? Mexican food, though, I feel like, man, the Mexicans, they do it just like we do it. It's home cooked.
Many times, almost always, it's authentic and
You know
home
what I
cooked.
mean?
Yeah,
Like-
all the Mexican spots I go to.
I talk to people I work with, they're like, they make the tortillas, you know, for the week at home. That's their bread, you know, for example. And
It's like our pita.
yeah, exactly. But it's very similar to the way maybe it's an older culture. Again, you know what I mean? I don't know what it is. Just trying to get away from that processed food, man. Like a good steak, though, for me.
Steaks.
You know,
Steaks is
and
my favorite.
I've never had a better steak than the United
Steakhouse.
States.
Yeah.
You
What's your
know?
favorite steakhouse in the city?
Barclay Prime.
Barclay Prime, really?
Prime,
So
yeah.
you're going classic
That's
Barclay.
my spot.
Rittenhouse.
Yeah.
How about number 2?
Number 2, good question. There's a family-owned steakhouse in Delaware called Harry Savoy's.
Really?
Yeah, I love Clam Casino. You know what a Clam
yeah.
Casino
Yeah,
is?
yeah,
Love
yeah,
them,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
I used to love going to Atlantic City, but Atlantic City's not what it used to be.
No, it's not, unfortunately.
You know? So I would say Harry Savoy's is my second favorite.
Gotta
I'd
go.
Prime rib.
Gotta go.
We gotta go. Definitely,
I've never,
definitely check
never,
it out.
I don't really go to Delaware much.
Nobody does, but it's so
Yeah.
close. It's in our metro.
Yeah, I know, I
It's
know.
like literally,
It's right
I live
there.
like 2 miles from the border.
It's right there.
We're
It's right
lucky.
there. I know.
Philadelphia, there's no better
have-
location in America than Philadelphia.
New York, Philly, Delaware. It's the whole East Coast right here. We're in the middle of everything.
Today's Thursday.
The shore.
Last Tuesday, my sister, a kid that was born in Greece, went to school here, St. Joe's alum, Temple Law, just got awarded the Supreme Court Justice.
Wow.
She did case law and she got an award from SCOTUS.
Wow.
So she had a +1, which was my dad. He's getting older, you know, so she wanted to for him to see it, right? My
Of
dad
course.
has a 4th grade education and was a sheep herder. And then came to this country, and his daughter's getting awarded by the Supreme Court Justice of the United
Opportunity.
States.
Congrats, by the way.
Exactly, opportunity. So this is the thing, right? Living in Philadelphia, my story is going to come full circle. So I drop him off at the train station on Tuesday. They get to D.C. They're like, Dad forgot his wallet. He doesn't have his ID. They might not let him in. I was like, what do I do? What do I do? I'm like you, Matt. We're good people. So I'm like, okay, maybe one of our coworkers. There were 7 other people that were getting the same award. Maybe but 7:30 is the time they're going to give the award. So she's like, they all left. So I go to my parents' house, I grab the ID, and I drive to D.C. I left at 9:22. I got there at midnight. Literally didn't get out of the
Still close
car.
enough, yeah.
Gave my sister my father's ID. Drove back out here at 3 a.m. But what I'm saying is, Philadelphia's location. I went to the nation's
Prime.
capital in 2.5 hours.
Where can you?
New York City is.
it's
I can go to
2
New York City
hours.
for dinner. Not even.
Not even hour 45.
Yeah. Not even. And if it's off time like that time, hour 30. I'm in Manhattan. I love Baltimore.
Baltimore.
Love Baltimore. You ever been to
I
Baltimore?
don't go to Baltimore. But
Never been.
Never been.
I went to Baltimore and I did a ride along in the Western District. I love the show The Wire. So I knew a couple cops from there. One of my friends, she wanted to become a Philadelphia police officer. They failed on the polygraph. Female, stud. She beat men in the physical. So big loss to Philadelphia, but she became a Baltimore police officer. And she was in that Freddie Gray district. So a lot of stuff happened in that district, but she got me a ride along. So we go to Baltimore, we stay in the Inner Harbor, get crabs. Again, another
Delicious.
town that's massively has very successful Greek people. The Angela family that owned the Baltimore Oreos. And then there's a guy that makes bread from McDonald's and Schmidt.
I
He's
heard
another
it's a
Greek
big
dude.
place.
Yeah, another Greek guy, and he owns the building that the Four Seasons went in.
Wow.
So we go and we stay at the Four Seasons. It's my vacation, my urban vacation, right? So we go and in their harbor, it's beautiful, man.
I got to go one of these days.
Definitely check out Baltimore.
I have a question. So,
Yes.
if you were to give advice to someone that was trying to do something like open up a coffee shop, or maybe they're a Greek kid, young person looking to expand and create a new business, what advice would you give them?
So, number one is like you got to make sure that you're in it for the long run. Meaning, like you got to know that you might have start a family one day, and you can do everything. But in this business, you're married to the business first and foremost. That's it, right? And you're a worker. Like if somebody like you came to me, like, yo, you could do it. You know, but if it's some people that want to do a 9 to 5, it's not for you, my friend. You know what I mean?
Non-stop.
So I'm gonna be brutally honest, right? You're here weekends. I'm here 7 days a week. I might not work. I might come in and hang out with you and have a cup of coffee, but there's my eyes always on the business, right? And then like, if it does get busy, that means I'm getting up and helping. I might be wearing my nice stuff, but I'm getting up and helping. That's what this business needs. You need to be in it, right? You know what I mean? It's not a business you can. It's not like those
Hands-off business.
Yeah, like I see all these people now. They're saying that like they want to work from home, and it kind of upsets me. I'm like, I can't do that. You know what I mean? But I guess you can.
privilege.
It is,
Right?
but it is.
Like it's a. I think people got used to it after COVID.
Correct. They
Because
did.
people were supposedly forced because the government said you have to work from home if you're going to work. Right?
Yeah. That my wife is one of them, right?
Yeah.
She loves it. She probably does more work from home. But then I'm like, okay, how come I can't do that? You can't do it. You can have employees working, but it's different. They want to see you. You know what I mean? Like this opportunity came because you come in here and we get to chat. You know what I mean? We meet.
It's real, authentic.
It is.
Yeah.
It is. And this is what it's a business of relationships. It's with the staff, with your customers, with the community. You know what I mean? I probably spend more. If I had to count, I probably spend more hours in the restaurant than I did at home, which is crazy, right?
It's right true. 100%.
I know it is, right? I'm like almost 100% sure that if I really did the math, I would realize that more hours are spent here. You know, but I love it. I love it. So you have to love it. And you can tell when somebody loves it, you know. Is it a good job? Yeah. It's more than that. It's not just a career. It's your life.
livelihood.
It's your livelihood and it's your life. The restaurant business specifically. Like there's no like, oh, okay. And you can take your time off. I'm not saying you have to work 80, 90 hours a week. What I'm
work,
saying
man.
is
And
you
you gotta
gotta
be
work
there.
and you gotta be there.
I
You
know
gotta
'cause I
show
grew up.
face.
I grew up
Exactly.
in the restaurant. You know, I was
Exactly.
making pizza at 9 years old, 10
Exactly.
years old.
Yeah, with your grandma. I remember
Yeah.
you, man. Like on International Pizza. Yeah, it's not. You can take a month off too. Like, so I complain that it's seasonal, but sometimes it's a great thing for me. Christmas comes around, I have 2 weeks off now. The restaurant's open. I might come, but it's a 2-hour day or a 4-hour day, or I can go to Puerto Rico, which I do every year for New Year's for 7 days. And
Puerto
okay,
Rico's beautiful. I'm
I
going
love
back in
it.
June.
Good for you. Let me know. I got good restaurants for you, recommendations, maybe scope out some locations. I think something like this, Gyro.
Kill it. Yeah.
Gyro in Puerto Rico, I'm not exaggerating, Matt, would be as good as McDonald's. I don't know how many people are going to see this. I think it might be more successful than McDonald's.
I'm there with you.
A pork gyro, the real gyro.
I'm there with you. And let me tell you something. They love the pork over there.
Of course, that's what I'm getting at. I
And-
know that.
Exactly.
Not only that, but like the way we do it.
Yeah. Real.
Yeah. Like I'm telling you that it could be so successful with a good investment.
Yeah.
Right? I don't want to half-ass it.
The right people and the right team.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. Hands on, you, me, both of us.
Yeah.
But what I'm telling you is that Puerto Rico is ideal for that, for our food.
Yeah.
You know, and then the fish, you have the raw material there.
Beautiful.
You do a beach bar there, a bed and breakfast. That's what we're good at. Greeks are good at that. We're good at service. Puerto Rico is just as good at it.
I know.
The Puerto Ricans are great at service. I go to Puerto Rico.
It's in my blood. It's in
is.
your blood, but
Both
it's in
ways.
my blood both ways.
Exactly. Exactly. So when you go in June, scope out the landscape, my friend.
I always do. Whenever I
You
go
know?
anywhere, I'm always like thinking. And
Yeah, you have the family there. Family is a great to depend on. You know what I mean? So you should definitely look it out. Look it out. Look out.
When did you first come up with the concept for Greek from Greece?
So, like I said, I was working on variations of it from 1999.
Wow. So
It was in my head.
25 years ago.
Yeah, and then I came with a group that was sponsored, maybe like promoted by the Greek government, the specific brand GFG, but this idea has been circling in my head. I just didn't know how to execute. We came together. We had the ambience and the decor, but that was about it. But it was good that it didn't happen back then, because I don't know if they were ready for it. But more importantly, we needed that partnership, and we had that partnership before COVID, right? The raw material, the prices were right. In Greece, like I said, the average work, the minimum wage, not minimum wage, but a good wage in Greece, we can produce so much product to come here, to bring it here like the Italians do, right? You know what I mean? Like, there's enough in the margins to sell the basic Greek goods that we get from Greece and make a good profit in the United States and make it famous, and literally blow up the industry. You're like, okay, the Greek feta cheese, the olive oil, the wine. There's
Everything.
Everything. So, yeah, in short, since 99, I wanted to bring this concept. I wanted to bring the culture, okay? People have tried, and I'll support anybody that tries. Because I think there's still more room, and another thing in Greece, the competition, they all sell this.
Yeah.
They don't sell matcha down the street.
Yeah.
They all sell this, so they have to be really good at it.
Yeah.
Okay? And the Greek customer is demanding. You give him a watered down Freddo, he'll tell you.
I know.
Which is the good thing, too. He'll be like, oh. Because they have to count their money more than we do.
Of course.
You get a bad experience here, and you might tell
Every
somebody.
dollar matters more.
Yeah. Over there, it's different. Every euro matters. And so they want to get what they paid for, which makes them, makes the market competitive.
So, name me your 5 best, or no, name me 3 of your favorite desserts, Greek desserts.
We're on the same page as Galactoburico, right?
Okay, good.
There's one that's called trigono,
Yes.
which is triangle.
With the,
Yeah, you've had it. It's a
Greece.
Thessaloniki. Yeah, it's a
Yeah.
Thessaloniki staple. And then, believe it or not, this summer in Greece, tsureki. Tsureki is Greek sweetbread. Again,
Easter. Always made at Easter.
We're gonna have a nice
Yeah, you
amount
gonna
of
bake
it.
some?
Yeah, we're gonna bake some.
Perfect.
We make it my mom's recipe.
Awesome.
Put the egg in it even, and like a
that's
painted
perfect.
egg.
I can't wait
The
for
one
that.
with chocolate is second to none. But then this summer I just had a profiterole. There's a place that makes exclusively profiteroles. Like again, they have a place that makes one dessert,
And masters it.
in mass, and they master it. And then kazan dipi, which is buffalo milks, like a flan, right?
Yeah, kind of like flan.
Yeah. So like baklava is good, right? But they're very sweet. So you need small portions. That's why I like galactoburi, because the vanilla custard kind of evens it out.
I agree. Galactoburico is number 1 for me. But it's so hard to find certain things here. Like we talked about chereki, right?
Yeah.
And that's such a, as
That's
a
your
kid,
grandma making it, yeah. And
my
yeah.
grandmother would make it every Easter, and
Yeah.
we go, boom. It was a staple tradition. But the other day, I had a little
Oh, I
get-together
remember,
dinner
yeah.
with my friends, right? And I was looking for chureki, because I told them how to bring it.
Yeah.
Right? So I was trying to find someone that made it.
I actually ordered it for you, believe it or not.
You did?
Yeah,
Really?
I did. I do. I think I might have it right now. I'm gonna
Awesome.
look for it for you.
Yeah. I'll take some home. But so, anyways, it was hard to find. I had to go to the Euro Market.
Did you find
and
it there?
I found it at the
Okay.
Euro Market in Broomall,
Yeah.
Pennsylvania. But I had to contact so many different people to
Yeah,
try to find
yeah,
it. and
yeah.
locate
You were on
it.
a mission, I
You know what
remember.
I mean?
I
So,
remember.
like, that's a great Greek food that nobody even knows about.
Correct.
And nobody
yeah.
even has.
No. There's a market. There's definitely a market. And like another thing that I wanted, when this concept launched, like I said, it was launched to be a spanakopita coffee / bakery, so tsureki. But you can literally, in the United States, you can literally like there's a couple products that you can back a whole business off of. Like we just talked about that one place that just does the one dessert. I think that's the future. You can't do everything good.
It's hard.
Like our previous concept, we had breakfast, lunch, dinner. We had omelets,
much.
breakfast sandwiches. Then we were making like avocado toast, let's say. Then we were making like pizza, pasta, salads, quesadillas, steaks,
Too much,
hoagies,
too much.
wraps. What are you gonna be good at, Matt?
Yeah. Menu's too big.
Yeah, how are you gonna be good at it? The people that work in the kitchen, how can they be good at everything? Or you're gonna have 20 different people working. Not feasible.
Yeah, not feasible.
You know, so I think like narrowing it down,
And mastering it.
yes, that's what the people want. That's what I want.
Yeah.
When I go somewhere and I have a cheesesteak,
Why are they coming here?
and then I see the guy next to me having a quesadilla,
Doesn't make sense.
yeah, and then you taste the cheesesteak, you're like, oh, okay, now I know. But then you go to a real cheesesteak spot, and you're like, oh, this is what a cheesesteak
This
is.
is real.
You know what I mean?
Well, if you go to a real cheesesteak spot, you go to gyms, what do they sell?
Cheesesteaks.
That's it.
That's it. That's the only way. That's the only way you can be good at something, man.
That's it.
You know, people might want to, like, you know, one-stop shop, like a corner store, like our Philly pizza shops. You know them, the ones you used to work at. Like, but that concept is just not right anymore. You know what I mean? You can't be good at everything, dude. You just can't.
The world's changing, and I'm glad that Greek is now becoming a little mainstream. And thank you for bringing that culture and for having a place like this, Greek
Yep.
from Greece, where Greeks can come together. We're coming together this Sunday for breakfast before the Independence Day, Greek Independence Day parade, which is
Yep.
going to be huge.
Everybody's
huge in
welcome.
Philadelphia.
You don't have to be just Greek.
Everybody's
welcome.
always welcome. Come to Greek from Greece and try
it.
some of our food here. The best food, amazing food. Everything is made fresh, and get a Freddo espresso
With
while you're
love.
at it. With love, the
With
secret
love.
ingredient. Thank you, Jimmy. I
My
appreciate
man,
it. Man.
thank you, Matt.